All right, so I did the Skibbly and so I did Ace. Come on, glasses, get on my face. Hope you guys are doing well. We're going to do a little bit of some etymology. We're going to talk about some teeth, but then we're going to also harken upon other things that may entertain the prefixes that are embedded within some of these things. So let's learn something new. And you can go ahead and ko-fi me and leave me a little tippity tip, a little moolah if you feel like you've learned something and you appreciate my content here on TikTok, of which you can find me over on my podcast as well. That being said, though, want to go ahead and shout out. I don't know if you guys can see, but that is a little bit of a faded Eddie Bauer emblem. Shout out Eddie Bauer. I love you guys. Still waiting for the sponsorship so that I can actually be a model, because the only way that I would ever be a model is if it was for LL Bean, Land's End, Eddie Bauer. Now let's get into some words here and talk about our first one here. I forgot. Per- Periodontitis, not perimeter, but it's where we get perimeter from. Periodontitis. This is where you go to a periodontist. What is a periodontist? We know that it has to do with teeth because odont comes from the Greek. And then in the Latin, it turns into dens, dentis. That's where you get dent. Dentrification is the fancy word for the making of teeth as you age and get older into life. So that's where you get your teeth done from the dentist. But in this case, a periodontist treats something like periodontitis, which is a more aggressive form of gingivitis. Gingia in the Latin means gums. Peri means what? Around, around. Odont means teeth. Itis is the inflammation of. What is around your teeth? Hmm? Your gums. I don't want to just show you guys my gums. That'd be weird. So inflammation of the teeth around. And what would that be? Your gums. Gingia in the Latin, gums. Itis, inflammation of. Funny that gingivitis is Latin and Greek, and then periodontitis is Greek, Greek, Greek. Hmm. Anyways, it's also where you get perimeter from. Peri means around, meter means length under measurement, right? It's the around measurement. Just like what's around your teeth are your gums. Oddly enough, though, if you want to get something else done at the dentist, no, not the dentist, the dentist, the orthodontist more so. Ortho refers to straight, correct, and or upright. What do you do, or what are you doing when you go to an orthodontist? Well, this guy is going to be the dude and or dudette and or the they themer that is going to straighten your teeth, aka corrective surgery and or like, I don't know. I know an orthodontist does all the braces and stuff like that, but probably realignments, probably maybe dental implants. I don't know. That being said, it's also where you get the term orthodox. Dox means opinion in the Greek. Kind of funny how you have the Orthodox Church that means the correct opinion church. Hmm, that sounds like there's a little subliminal messaging embedded underneath. Oh, looky there. I've got a email about my canvas. Guys, you're jumping the gun. It doesn't start for another week. Teaching a Greek mythology class. So if you didn't know, now you know, and you can see all of this cross connections from teeth to math terminology to more teeth stuff and or the practitioner of, because an orthodontist, that ist, if you were to just change this itis to an ist, that would be the practitioner of what treats around the teeth. And this, well, you can't really have orthodontitis because you don't have inflammation of the teeth correct. That wouldn't make any sense. Now, another one, uh, well, we have orthorexia. Rexia means appetite in the Greek, or exia. This is where you get anorexia. An means without, rexia means appetite, without an appetite. Orthorexia means correct appetite. I actually just heard this term on a podcast recently. They're talking about orthorexic individuals and how orthorexia is just a diet that people adhere to where they can't eat anything that isn't quote unquote clean, apparently. I don't really know what clean is opposed to dirty. I would say clean is probably whole foods versus dirty being more ultra processed, hyper palatable. But that being said, remember, you guys, food is also nourishing of the soul. And sometimes you have an unhealthy thing that maybe not nourishing your body in that way that you think it is, but it's nourishing the connections that you're having with the people around you that you're sharing the meal with. That's why, I don't know, I want to move to Spain, you guys, and I want the siesta. I want to live that culture. If I can find someone out there that wants to like help me do my academia stuff out in Spain, help me out because I want to do that because I would love to live and not feel like I'm working to live, but just have work alongside that amplifies my life. I'm done. Hope you learned something new. Tempest Sketteray.